On this episode of Picker Road, I am in the Picker Road Boutique at Antique Alley. We are going to have an amazing day here. We're going to check out some new booths. We're going to look at history, really fun items. We're going to talk to some of the vendors here. And later, we're going to check out a Tiki Bar right here in the Las Vegas Arts District. So sit back, relax, and join the journey.
I'm Harleen, and along with my husband Gary and our son Will, we are a family of pickers. We travel the world finding treasures to bring to you. Along the way, we have great adventures. Come along with us. Join the journey on Picker Road.
All right, so today I really wanted to look at some booths that we've never shown on the channel before. Antique Alley is so big and there are so many amazing vendors here. There's just an unending supply of wonderful items to look at. So I'm over on the other side of the store from where we were filming last time, and I'm just immediately drawn to so many items in this booth. Look at those really old Christmas ornaments. Those are fantastic. And then, of course, we've got a lot of those utility tools, the Swiss ones. I've got several of those over in my case. And then over here, look at that, a 1997 Siegfried and Roy Mirage calendar. That's some Vegas history right there. This town has got a lot of interesting history. Oh, look at the cat. That is a cat votive, and that feels like plastic. Yeah, I think that's plastic, but that's pretty cute. So many interesting things in here. We got a lot of books and CDs and plenty to look at. You gotta come into Antique Alley. Of course, it's Halloween time, so we've got plenty of Halloween. And then over here, looks like we got some delicates on this shelf. Oh wow, look at this. That looks to be a copper plaque of JFK. Wow, $20. That's got some age on it. Probably from during his presidency. Then down here, we've got some insulators and we've got some glassware. Oh, and then right next door, look at this. This is a brand new booth. I had not even seen that it came in here. It's all comic books. Comic books have such a fascinating history and value to them. Looks like there's some autographed and graded ones in here. Oh, look at this. Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine just came out, so Wolverine is one of those really hot commodities. This is a grade 9.4 Wolverine #1. They are asking $300 for it. That is some classic comic book art there. Really interesting. Looks like they've got them very well organized. You've got all your classics. You got Batman, Captain America, Daredevil, Deadpool, all the Marvel heroes, a lot of DC. Look at these. This is so much fun. I'm going to have to come back through here and flip through all of them. Personally, I have a small but fun collection of Captain America comics, including a few that go back to the 1960s. It's always fun to look at that artwork. And then right across the way, this is one of the vendors here that has several booths, and he just put this one together. So I'm really excited to see what he has in here. Look at that glass. Wow. That's really beautiful. Art Glass Murano signed, $250 for that yellow one. These are spectacular. And then we've got some high fashion here. We've got Roberto Cavalli and Yves Saint Laurent. We've got Prada. You can find everything here at Antique Alley. We've got some antiques here. We've got an Infant of Prague. And then looks like we have some Asian antiques here. And then look at all of this wall art. Really beautiful. Now this one over here, Tahitian Evening, Paul Blaine Henry. That reminds me very much of a piece that I have right now that we're probably going to do a Picker Road research update on soon. It's an oil painting by the artist who did all of the United Airlines travel posters in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. And the one that I have is actually of the Roman Forum. Now down here, look at these boxes and this big trunk. Just fantastic. You gotta come into Antique Alley and check all this stuff out for yourself. There's some very, very fine antiques in here. All right, let's keep exploring. Well, we have had some fantastic World War II items on the channel recently, and look at this. This is an incredible model here, and you know what is most fascinating about it? It is only $60. Look at that. Wow. As I say every time we film here, if you see something in this video that really strikes you and you want it, you can contact Antique Alley. We're going to have all their info down in the description. You can call them and they can arrange shipment. It's very easy and they do it all the time. Oh wow, this looks just like one of those vases that we just sold not too long ago. They are asking $20 for it. I think that's about what we got. I always love checking out other vendors' prices because it allows us the opportunity to compare, you know, see what we're doing, make sure that we're on the same track. It's a Yoda box. Oh, that's so funny. It's not Grogu, it is Yoda. All right, what else do we have in here? Oh, look at these guitars. These are all new. I haven't seen these before. They've got a vintage Gresh. They've got Hello Kitty. They've got the American flag. Doesn't it look like Jimi Hendrix is about to play the Star Spangled Banner on that? Oh my goodness. All right, let's keep on looking. Last time we looked through here, I came into this booth and they had that amazing vintage Vegas map. Now it looks like they have Vegas pins. These are so cool. Look at them. They're from Vegas Gypsy, and they have all the vintage marquees like the Desert Inn and the original Circus marquee. I see Lady Luck there. I see the original MGM Lion. This is Vegas history right here. And looks like they're only about $15 to $20 a piece. That is really nice. If you're looking for a nice piece of Vegas to take home with you, oh, the Sands, look at that. When I was a kid, I had the famous poster of the Rat Pack up on my wall of them all in front of that marquee. Wow, this is such a cool set. Let's go in here and see what we've got. I see a lot more vintage Vegas history in here. I mean, this is my cup of tea right here. We've got old Vegas postcards. Goodness, I remember writing a lot of these when I was a kid. We would always come here to Vegas, and I would write postcards home to friends. So much fun. We got that there. Look at that. Las Vegas United Airlines. I was just talking about those travel posters. That's one of the iconic Vegas ones. We got some Halloween stuff down here, and then looks like we've got some tins for mints with vintage Las Vegas imagery on it. Oh, wow, we've got some Fitz and Floyd in here. That is a Fitz and Floyd Old World Rabbit cracker tray and a Mayfair Bunny planter. I have never seen a Fitz and Floyd hand-painted label before. That's really interesting to know. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. Looks like we got some Goebbels and Hummels. And look at that clock back there. Gilded cast clock case with the original clock replaced. $225. Now this is fun. If you want to swing for the fences on having the polar opposite of a cell phone, this is an actual phone that you can plug in at home. You can get a landline, and then this could be your phone. Does anybody remember the movie Funny Farm with Chevy Chase, where they install a payphone in his house and he has to have a pile of dimes next to the phone just to make calls? For some reason, this made me think of it. That is really fun. They're asking $125 for that. All right, I am now with Doug. Now, if you've watched our lives, you've probably seen Doug here at Antique Alley before. He is a fabulous vendor here.
Thank you.
You specialize in coins and paper currency.
Yes, I do. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But I'd really like to talk about some of the things that you have in your hands right now.
These are two very interesting pieces. I've had this for a really long time. It's not in good condition, but I think it's just a really fascinating piece of American history. This is fractional currency.
If you guys haven't seen fractional currency before, it was developed well over 100 years ago when a penny could buy a lot of stuff. There was so many things that were less than a penny, they had to make special currency so that when you went into the store, you didn't overspend.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Now, this would be about Civil War era.
Yes, yes.
That's really something.
Mid to late 1860s.
That's, of course, when, $300 would buy you a homestead.
Oh, God, yes.
Now, these pieces here, These are Morgan silver dollars. And I see you've got some beautiful high-grade Morgan silver dollars right here that are worth a lot of money.
I actually just added 3 graded Morgan silver dollars this last week into the case.
Wow. Talk a little bit about grading coins.
Sure.
What does that do to a coin's value?
It bumps it up a heck of a lot, folks. In the world of coins and in currency, a 70 is a perfect score. So a coin that's graded at 64s, like these 3 are, they're not perfect, but they're pretty darn close to it for being 100 to 130 years old.
Now, I collect trading cards, and in the trading card world, the difference between a 9 and a 10 is usually a magnitude of 10. Would you say that's the same between a 64 and a 70?
Yeah, real quick example would be like with some of the graded dollar bills that I have. Here is a 53 graded dollar, and here is a 66 graded dollar. Almost $120 difference retail in them.
Wow. And what year are those from?
These are both, this one's both 1957.
Oh my goodness. Those are in amazing condition.
Yeah, that's why they've been graded.
Yes.
Now, we do have other dollar bills from that same time period that are not graded. They're great for the beginning collector. If you have a relative, a grandson, granddaughter, you want to get started into coins, they're a very good initial investment to help them learn the wonderful world of coins.
Absolutely. There's so many eras and errors.
Yes.
An error coin can be worth a lot.
Oh, even into coins just done within the last 10, 15 years, something that's off center, it's been miscut. There was a sheet of dollar bills that came through about 5 or 6 years ago where they had been cut diagonally. And just the corners off of them, but it was done by the mint itself, which then increased the value of those to some of them astronomical.
Now, I've seen in the past the mints have actually offered sheets of uncut dollars.
Yes.
Do those have value?
Yes. Not as much as some of the other errors, but it's always cool to maybe get a quarter sheet, a half sheet, where you've got maybe 10 bills lined up with the consecutive serial numbers all the way down.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I once saw Rich Little's show here in Vegas, and afterwards he was just hanging out and signing autographs. I was like 14 years old, and I asked him to sign a $2 bill, and he signed it and said, "Now it's worth $1.50." But anyway,
he was a great comedian,
right? But anyway, so these coins. So you've got beautiful graded ones here that have
ungraded
that have great value. This is an example, though, of coins that have priceless value.
Yes.
So these were my great-grandfather's coins. He was an inventor. He had an amazing brain, and for any credit that I get for my knowledge, I credit that line of the family. He actually invented the check endorsing machine. He had a patent for it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, but he carried these 2 Morgan silver dollars in his wallet. They're 1879 and 1897. So reverse years. But
yes.
I just wanted you to take a look at them and see what you thought of those.
Oh, these, as you said, the sentimental value of these will be beyond any new numerical value that a dollar could put on it because of the family history that goes with it. Of course, the 1879 was the second year of production.
Only the second year.
Second year, 1878, first year of production. And I love the reverse with the 79 reversed into the 97.
Yeah.
That adds to the sentimental part of it.
Exactly.
So,
now, they're called Morgans because the designer was named Morgan.
Right. That is correct.
Yeah.
And the Morgan dollar is one of the most sought-after collectible coins in the United States. Everybody likes to have a Morgan or two in their collection.
How late did they produce them until?
1921.
Wow.
They produced both the Morgan and the Standing Liberty in 21. So there was a little mixture of it throughout the middle of the year. So you can actually have 2 different silver dollars from the same year.
That is so cool. And there's 80% silver content. 90.
90% silver, 10% copper.
Wow. That's really something. I mean, so then it kind of slowly weaned off, right? Because I believe it was the Kennedys that got down to the 80%.
In fact, 1964 Kennedy up here is the 90% silver.
Okay.
Starting the very next year in 65, the price of the silver started to escalate So they went from 90% to 40%
40%.
silver.
Wow.
And then in 1970, as the price of silver continued to go up, they went to what we know as the clad coin today. We took all silver out of it.
And you can hear it if you like flip them on the table.
There's a different sound.
Yeah.
Totally different sound with them.
It's so much fun when you've got a big mess of them to go through and see if you can find them. I still find them here in Vegas all the time because they deal. I wonder if this town deals in half dollars more than anyone else in the world because we've got all the blackjack tables.
Half dollars and silver dollars.
Yeah.
There's always the Binion story.
No, I don't know this.
Oh, from Binion's Casino.
Uh-huh.
It is rumored that he buried over $1 million in silver dollars in the desert. And his late girlfriend and a couple other people have lost their lives in the search of it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's a mystery that's everybody thinks it was somewhere out near Pahrump, which is just over the hump from Vegas if you're not
Oh
here.
my goodness.
And it's rumored there's over $1 million in silver out there someplace.
We're not going to say go and find it. Do not attempt this at home.
People have lost their lives. Be careful.
That is so cool. Now we're talking about Vegas history. You wanted to talk about
Before I stick those in my pocket and just walk away, let me return those to you.
Thank you so much. You wanted to talk about some Vegas history too.
Yeah, Vegas, believe it or not, is known for gambling.
I was not aware of that.
Yep. It's something most people don't realize. So I have been very blessed recently to come across a bunch of books with the history of the slot machine.
Oh my goodness.
And I've got about a half a dozen books down here that tell all about the different histories and everything that goes along with it. So it's some pretty interesting things. One over here, of course, when you're gaming, you're using a lot of different chips. And every casino develops their own chips. A lot of people may not realize that. You cannot walk from one casino to the next casino with your chips. You have to cash them in and buy new chips in the next casino. And this book gives you a really nice history of the chips over the last 120, 140 years.
One of my favorite things about coming into Antique Alley is all of the booths that have vintage chips because the artwork on them are incredible. And they're advertising the performers that are playing there and the shows and the histories.
Yep.
I mean,
the casinos will make specialty chips every year, just like you're saying that they got the show in here. There was the Mirage did several Siegfried and Roy chips.
Yes.
They did one that just had the tigers on it. There's. You go back 100 years, the Horseshoe Casino made their chips with a horseshoe on it.
Oh my goodness.
So there is a ton of great little information about Vegas in these books, and there's so many chips that were produced. It's not like one per page, as you can see. It's
so
just
cool. My history with Vegas, obviously, doesn't go that far back, but I've been coming here since I was a kid. And I remember we used to always stay at the Hilton, which is now the Westgate, which of course Elvis Presley made famous with his long run. But when I was a kid and going there, Sheena Easton was the headliner. And I've always been a James Bond fan. So I went and saw her several times. She always would end the show with For Your Eyes Only. And I still have one of the chips with her face on it.
Oh,
I think
cool.
It's 1999 issue or something.
Yep.
Which is vintage now. Can you believe that?
Yes, 25-year-old chip.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
The first show I ever saw there was Wayne Newton.
Oh, this is classic.
Oh yeah, my mom and dad were out visiting, and we went to there, and it was the time period where you wore the suit and tie to the show, and you had the maitre d' come over with your cocktails for the evening, and the bit of old Vegas, and that was '92.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And now, wear your shorts and your t-shirt.
Can you believe it? Well, as you all saw on the channel, just a couple of months ago, my best friend Tyler and I were over at the Westgate. We saw their new Elvis tribute show that opened, and it happened to be on the night that was the 54th anniversary of Elvis's first show at the International. And they did a special tour, and the tribute artist actually took us backstage to the dressing room, the elevator. Jealous. Oh my God, it was so much fun. The water fountain that Elvis sipped out of every night before he went on stage. There's a spot on the floor with the original wood because that's where he would say his prayer before he'd walk out. Oh. It's amazing history, and they've preserved it. They've done a really good job there of preserving Elvis's history.
We actually, it wasn't me, but we had one of our other vendors that actually had Elvis hair that was certified as being Elvis's hair
We
clips.
saw that the first time we ever filmed in here, before we even had a space here. We came in here and we saw that. That was so cool.
Yep, that's
A little macabre, but
yeah,
cool.
yeah, but cool still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi,
Oh.
can I sweep up your hair?
Right. And it's something that the barber had the
Foresight.
foresight to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more book I want to
Yes,
show
please.
you. Whether you know it or not,
Oh,
Vegas has been known to have a little bit of a criminal background. The boys, so to speak. And I came across this great book talking about the mobs and the mafia,
Oh my
not
goodness.
only in Vegas, but all across the United States. So we always have something unique, new, and different here at Antique Alley. So anytime you guys are in the neighborhood, stop in and say hi.
One of the things that I love about the mob history here in town that you can still see to this very day is if you go over to the Golden Steer, which has been here since, I believe, 54.
54, I believe
Somewhere
it is.
around
I was
there?
2 years old, so I'm not.
You weren't having steak yet.
Yeah, no, not quite.
But this was the steakhouse for the mob, for the Rat Pack, for Elvis, for all the icons.
Absolutely.
And they had a hidden back door that served two purposes. If the police raided the front, they all went out the back. Or if another family came in, the other family would have their limos pull up in the back. It's just out of respect. They weren't hiding, but out of respect, they pull the limos in the back, the limos in the front, one family out, one family in. The days of civility. You whack the guy, but then you still give them the respect at the restaurant.
Yes.
Doug, thank you so much for taking this time.
Thank you so much. Have yourself a great afternoon.
Antique Alley, you come in, you go through the front door, you turn right, and you find this amazing booth right here.
1126 South Main Street, 10 to 6 every day of the week.
All right, now, if you've watched the channel, you know Ted needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. Trash Robot, Turbo Ted, Tiki Ted. How many names do you have?
It's constant. If you're a creative person and a prankster, you should have a constant new self all the time. Why not? You can be whatever person you want.
I love it. So today, Ted is going to talk to us about Tiki.
Tiki culture is huge in Las Vegas right now, and I guess it always has been. It's something that's big in the western United States, the Southwest, California since the 1930s, since way before we were born, but it's stronger than ever right now.
I'm 96 years old.
You're 96 years old. From the 1930s. Let's do some math. Okay, you were born just before the California tiki craze started in the 30s. Okay, we'll take that. Anyway, if you know the walking tour I do in the Arts District, we walk through the Antique Mall, and you see it on the show here. And in the walking tour of the Antique Mall, I always stop right here. There's a booth full of Hawaiian shirts. And one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that this is a good one. Look at that. Rayon. Wow.
That's great.
Las Vegas is called the Ninth Island, which is a ceremonious title. There's so many Pacific Islanders and Hawaiians living here. We're an honorary part of Hawaii. And when you live here in Las Vegas, this kind of shirt is perfect for the hot weather almost all year long. And can I show you the back?
Please, yeah, let's look at this. Isn't that fantastic?
And it's
This is vintage, right?
vintage. Yeah, it's also got wood buttons. You don't see that
Wow.
anymore. Wood buttons.
That is so cool. Oh, yeah, no, that's one of the things that I learned as we moved here and got to know Vegas. The Golden Knights have a Ninth Island night.
Right.
There's Hawaiian barbecues all over town, and they are so good. Oh, my goodness. I haven't tasted Hawaiian barbecue that good since I was in Hawaii.
And it's not just Hawaii. There's a lot of Filipinos here, Filipino restaurants. It's a thing.
We were talking about it not too long ago when we were in here in Antique Alley with Mark Hall Patton. Las Vegas is a melting pot, just like how America was a melting pot. And it's amazing to get to know people and say, where'd you come from? And, what brought you here? I think that's one of the really great things about this town. One of the great things about Antique Alley, too, because this is a melting pot.
One of the great things about living in Las Vegas is everyone visits here eventually. Some of my best friends I haven't seen in a while are coming here to see us this afternoon. It's just that kind of place. Come visit.
That's so great. So there are also some tiki mugs in this booth. Shall we take a look at those?
Let's look.
All right. So Ted, this case is full of tiki mugs, and this is so much fun. Can you talk a little bit about the history of tiki mugs?
I don't know anything about the history of tiki mugs other than they're really cool and they're all over the place. And a good tiki bar sells their own. I mean, my wife has an unbelievably huge collection of them. I don't know when they started making them. I have no idea, but these are some of the best ones I've ever seen. And we're in a booth that's just footsteps away from where Picker Road is, and I'm just right across the alley from Trash Robot's just right across the alley from Will. So
He's a great neighbor.
and we're just like a parking space away from our booth. So if you make it to the mall, you've got to check out this collection of tiki mugs.
It's so much fun. And like you said, they're so different. I know that there's companies that specialize in making unique tiki mugs for different bars. I have one from the Golden Tiki, which is iconic here in Vegas, that was actually made by a company down in Mexico. And then there's another one that I have in my collection that I got in the Central Coast of California. You can look back on the Picker Road episode when we went to the High Roller Tiki Lounge in Solvang, California. It is a Vegas-style slot machine tiki mug because everything there was inspired by Vegas. We traveled all the way to California to come to Vegas.
I mean, in terms of Vegas tiki mugs, the funnest ones are the ones you can buy new from a tiki bar. So my friends at Red Dwarf have a constant series of mugs, and every time one comes out, we have to get it. So if you're in Vegas, go see Red Dwarf. They also make a great Detroit pizza.
Nice. There's so many amazing things here in Vegas. You'd never run out. Well, this is really cool to look at. We're going to get some close-ups of all of these. But why don't we head over to your booth and take a look at some of Tiki Ted?
Sure.
All right, so now we're in the Turbo Ted booth, but you've also got Tiki Teds, so tell us about that.
It's complicated. We have the Trash Robot brand. We're called that. But Tiki Ted's a sub-brand. How's that?
I love
you
that.
You can have sub-brands.
Sub-brand, cool.
And right now we've got a bunch of T-shirts, Tiki Ted T-shirts.
These are fantastic.
One of a kind. I put them together myself. These are repurposed shirts.
Now, last time we were here, you were showing us the robot ones that are one of a kind. So it's nice that you have that follow through. You're doing all sorts of variations, and it's unique. It's art, so it's really one of one.
They're all secondary market shirts. They're recycled, so that the pairing of the shirt and the image will never match again. And I produce enough images that I don't even reuse them. I make new ones every time. So if you buy one of them from the shop, it's going to be handmade one of a kind. But we also have them online.
That's so cool. We've got the link right down below in the description, so definitely check them out. We know some of our viewers bought shirts from you last time you were on the channel.
We noticed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for supporting Ted. Thank you for supporting the fellow vendors here at Antique Alley. That's what this is all about, and we really appreciate it. So let's head out into the Arts District. We've got a tiki bar we're going to go to, but first, we're going to an exhibit of your artwork.
We're going to go to Davies and see my brand new permanent tiki installation.
All right, then. All right, so Ted, we're at the entrance of Antique Alley. Shall we head out into the Arts District and see some more tiki?
The real world, here we go.
All right, let's go. It's as simple as this. You step out and you are in the heart of the Las Vegas Arts District. We just had Esther's Kitchen the other day. It's so good. Have you tried the duck pizza?
I've not had the duck pizza.
Oh my goodness. It had like a fig butter on it. Hey, we got a green light. Let's walk.
Esther's Kitchen makes a lot of their own flavored butters, which are amazing. They make their own breads. They make their own pasta. They have an incredible Amaro selection. Their craft cocktails are incredible. We're going to have a tiki drink in just a little bit.
Ooh.
But if you're in the Arts District and you're not price sensitive and you want a world-class experience, you absolutely have to go to Esther's Kitchen. It's one of the top 10 restaurants off the strip in Las Vegas. Davies is a sister or brother bar to Rebar.
Oh, we were there last time.
We saw Rebar the last show, and we saw my Tiki show at Rebar last time. The Tiki show at Rebar, I sold 88 pieces in 1 month, which is crazy. And the leftover pieces are now here as a permanent installation at Davies. We're going to go see them.
Let's take a look. Oh, wow, this is really cool. Tell us about this.
This is a Tiki Ted permanent installation inside of Davies. And a really interesting thing to say about Davies is that it is a pirate and nautical themed rum bar. It's not a tiki bar. Tiki culture is so specific. We're not even trying to present this as tiki. Maybe it's a tiki art installation, but this is not a tiki bar. People are that specific about the culture.
So Ted, as we're on our way to Stray Pirate, this is what you do. This is your walking tour. If people want to take the walking tour, how do they get a hold of you?
Look up Best Bet Vegas Tours and the Arts District Walking Tour. Best Bet Vegas Tours.
Awesome. We'll have that in the description as well. Let's head over to Stray Pirate.
Let's do it.
All right, Ted, I'm excited to check this out. This is my first time here.
You haven't been here yet?
I have not.
Wow, this is amazing, yeah.
Well, the atmosphere here in Stray Pirate is fantastic. I just love tiki bars, and this one is themed after pirate dogs. How much fun is that? I want to take a second and thank Ted for appearing on the channel. He does so much to promote the Las Vegas Arts District, and he's so much fun to hang out with. Hey, While we enjoy these delicious drinks from Stray Pirate, I want to show you some tiki-themed items that we have available for purchase at pickerroad.com right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you always know when an episode premieres. Also, please check out pickerroad.com, where you can purchase many of the fun items we've found on our adventures. And don't forget, you can now support my father Gary on his quest to get a muscle car using nothing but glowy glass. Lastly, please leave a comment. We read all of them, and we love interacting with you because we always want you to join the journey.